sleeping at night. It's just very impressive, and to meet these people, firsthand, it's just an amazing experience.
All right, and that's a look at Buck Sunday. Fox's NFL Sunday is next, and then, of course, it's the Buccaneers and Ravens right here on Fox 13 at 1 o'clock. Then Fox will have a post-game show from 4 to 4:30. Then we will be live here from 4:30 to 5:30. See ya.
Year long, because Brad Johnson is a pocket passer. Now the problem they got to do is find a way to protect him, and what they have to do is run the football. They only ran 21 times last week, and that's not typical Tampa Bay Buck football. Not when you got guys like Allstott and Michael Pittman. The offensive line has to get the job done. Always in transition. This week, no different. Cozy Coleman is back at right guard. Kenyatta Walker starts at right tackle. Two new guys. They've got to find a way to protect their quarterback if this new Gruden offense is going to work.
Now for the Baltimore Ravens, they've got Jamal Lewis back. He looked good last week, and they want to go to him a lot more today, Bill.
Yeah, and both teams are going to pound the football, and that's going to make for a quick game. Old-fashioned style football, but Jamal Lewis is back, and he's healthy. Talking to him, he has confidence. No thoughts at all about the injury 2 years ago. He is back, and he can help out a young quarterback in Chris Redmond. Talking to defensive coaches and coordinators that have seen him, they said, yes, this is the old Jamal Lewis, and they're ready to deal with him.
All right, before we get to the game, now is a very good time to vote for the Sprint PCS question of the week, and that is, who is the best young quarterback in the NFL? And you can vote by either using your Sprint PCS Vision phone or by logging on to foxsports.com. Who are you voting for?
It's a secret ballot.
Oh, okay. Here in Baltimore, it's opening day, but it's also a time to honor the memory of the greatest football player in Baltimore history, Johnny Unitas, who passed away last Wednesday.
Sports biggest.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
Tomorrow, lots of thoughts and feelings and emotions about Johnny Unitas' passing. For more on that, let's go to our sideline reporter, Brent Harris.
An absolutely emotional day here in Baltimore. The intangibles is what define Johnny Unitas. Rams Hall of Famer once said of Unitas, it's not his arm strength or his football knowledge that made him so great. It was simply his courage. Well, today the fans of Baltimore are paying a fitting tribute to the Golden Arm. The Ravens marching band came onto the field today playing the old Colts fight song. Lenny Moore, his former teammate, helped unveil the number 19 that sits on the sidelines. And Johnny Unitas' old high black tops, the ones he wore when he threw his final touchdown pass here in Baltimore, will sit alongside his number. It is definitely a fitting thank you to Johnny Unitas here on an emotional day in Baltimore.
Thanks very much, Brent. And the number 19 is everywhere to be seen here in Ravens Stadium. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won their last 3 road openers. Baltimore Ravens have won their last 2 home openers. The Ravens have won the coin toss, elected to receive. Excuse me, the Bucs have won the coin toss. They will receive. These two teams met late last season in Tampa, and the Bucs won that one 22-10. J.R. Jenkins, the kickoff specialist, getting set to kick to Aaron Stecker. And we are underway in Baltimore. Stecker, who averaged nearly 30 yards per return last week, straight ahead. Tripped up as he got to the 20, falls forward to the 23-yard line. The tackle made by Ed Reed. The Bucs on offense. The line looks like this, as Bill mentioned at the top, restructured with Cozy Coleman in starting at right guard. Kenyatta Walker, who was inactive last week, starts at right tackle. Keyshawn Johnson, Keenan McCardell are the wideouts, Ken Dilger the tight end, Allstott and Pittman start in the backfield. Allstott at fullback. Brad Johnson to Michael Pittman. And the Ravens stuff it. Ravens defensively in a rebuilding mode. You'll see a lot of youngsters. They still have a core of veteran stars in that lineup. They've switched to a 3-4. Kelly Gregg, the nose tackle. Tony Weaver, the rookie out of Notre Dame. The linebackers, the familiar Peter Boulware and Ray Lewis. Ed Hartwell played well last week. Cornell Brown starts this week. Ed Reed, the rookie out of Miami, a first-round draft pick. 2nd and 10. It's Allstott out of a one-back formation. Gets up close to the 25-yard line. It was Ray Lewis with penetration. He didn't have all that much penetration last week, Bill.
No, you know, and for this side of the ball, as you look at it, the Tampa Bay Bucs offense and the Ravens defense, both of them kind of in an overhaul mode. Both of them trying to learn new schemes, new terminology on playing. But last week there was a feeling out process. The team on this side of the ball that gets the early hand, the hot hand, will dominate this game.
Bucs come out with 4 wide receivers. And the toss to Pittman. Slips a couple of tackles and really powers his way up close to a first down. So they came out with 4 wides and they ran the ball, and Pittman ran it hard.
Well, a lot of times when you play the 34 defense, and we'll be talking about this a lot, I played nose tackle in a 3-4 alignment, and things that bother it are when you spread it out. When you get their offense all spread out. That time with the 4 wides, it creates seams. Now at the end of this is just Michael Pittman dragging and plowing his way forward to pick up the first down.
2 tight ends in. Marco Battaglia now shifts to an H-back position, and Pittman flanks out to the left. Brad Johnson gets time, and he hits Keenan McCardell, who throughout his career has played very well against the Baltimore Ravens. That's his 79th career catch against the Ravens, a pickup of 8 on the play, and Ray Lewis seems to be shaken up a little bit. Ray Lewis hurting, trying to stay on the field. Collects himself and stays in. 2nd and 2 for the Bucs. McCardell motions. Johnson to McCardell. First down across the 45-yard line. Only one player has caught more passes against the Ravens than Keenan McCardell. That's his former teammate Jimmy Smith in Jacksonville. Good start for the Bucs after that pickup of the first down by Pittman.
Oh, and especially after that first down. After the pickup of the first down, they had manageable downs. 8 yards on that little square in route by McCardell. Then you're faced with 2nd and 2. John Gruden, that's the kind of things he wants out of this offense, manageable downs.
Big 10 backs in there. The play fake by Johnson to Jameel Cook, the fullback. First down, and he is down to the 40-yard line. Ed Hartwell made the stop. But there's use of personnel by John Gruden.
Well, what they did on that time is they had 3 wide receivers. They split out 3 wide, and they took everybody downfield. They took them downfield and stretched this thing out. And then underneath, see the vertical passing route of the wide receivers? Then underneath, there's nobody covering the fullback, Jameel Cook.
Pick up 14 on the play. Bucs go with 3 wide receivers. Dilger has moved to the right now. He motions back. Short drop by Johnson, pressured and sacked by Peter Boulware. Peter Boulware, who was injured during preseason, had a sack last week. He led the AFC with 15 sacks last season.
He's working over here to the right of your screen, and this is just the line is taking a slant, and that clears everybody down. You see the tackle Kenyatta Walker come down. He came down with the defensive end inside. Cozy Coleman came down in the inside, and then it was one-on-one. The back had to get out there to pick up Boulware. It was no match.
6 defensive backs in for the Ravens on 2nd and 16. Johnson being rushed, throws to Keyshawn Johnson. He held on to it. He juggled it, but held on down to the 27-yard line. Ed Reed, the rookie out of Miami, made the stop.
Last week, Keyshawn Johnson caught 5 balls, had 76 yards, and this is where I feel that this is where he's good. Right in that zone in there, right on the seam routes where he throws a ball right down the hash marks. Inside, his physical presence, the size of his body. He's really good in there. He's good around people. There's not many receivers that are good in traffic.
Picked up.
Keyshawn Johnson is.
Picked up 20 on the play. Keyshawn in motion. The handoff to Pittman. He's upended. Good tackle by Marquez Douglas, the fourth-year man out of Howard University.
Marquez Douglas is number 94, and where he's going to be, he's to the right side, the left side, I'm sorry, right over the guard, Kerry Jenkins, 71. And he just takes that shoulder, just jumps in that gap and then closes inside, disrupt. Anytime your defensive linemen get across the line of scrimmage, it's tough to get your running game going.
4 wide receivers for the Bucs. Pittman, the lone back. Pittman carries, bounces it outside. Nice run by Michael Pittman inside the 20. Was hit by Alvin Porter and Ed Reed. Ray Lewis also tracked him down on the play. Good run by Pittman.
Oh, outstanding. He starts to sink to the right. You know, he's kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, that video game. He starts one way, stops, and then zzz, his feet are going, and then he stops, and it gets going again. And when he gets it, he gets a head of steam going real fast out of a dead start.
3rd and 2 for the Bucs. 3 wide receivers for Tampa Bay. Alstott in the backfield. Johnson being rushed, gets it out to Alstott, and he's tackled by Anthony Mitchell. Stopped short of a first down. And Mitchell, with a strong play, man who made his first NFL start last week, comes up from his strong safety position to make the tackle on Mike Alstott. So a good drive by the Bucs. Stalls inside the Ravens 20, and the field goal kicking unit is on. Martin Gramatica will attempt a 36-yarder.
Marquez Douglas is what stopped that drive. They were having manageable down and distance until he was disruptive in the backfield.
Tom Tupa is the holder. Mike Stallwell, the long snapper. And the 36-yarder is through. Gramatica was 2 for 4 last week. He starts off perfect. And the Bucs take the opening kickoff. A good drive that stalls, and Gramatica puts 3 on the board. Tampa Bay has the lead.
The Dolphins on the board first.
And you don't think of athleticism when you mention Jay Fiedler, but he is exactly that. Number 79, Raheem Brock, he just scorches Brock to the corner of the end zone, who doesn't have enough speed to stay with Jay Fiedler, who's a really good athlete. We've seen him make some really excellent throws in this drive, and we've also seen him make some plays with his legs as well. Tremendous play by the Miami Dolphins.
Orlando Mare on for the extra point, and how impressive was that drive to open this one up. 9 plays, 73 yards. Dolphins touch the football first, and they put 7 on the board.
It's to Curtis Martin, who swings out of the backfield, picks up about 8 on the play. Teddy Bruschi makes the tackle.
Yeah.
As hard as early as possible.
2nd down and 8 from the 33.
Play, so Vermeil goes into his playbook early for some good stuff.
Eddie Kinnison, who came here in the last half of last year, finally got his feet under him, and he started to play well at the end of the year, and they were excited about having him back. Trent Green knows that with Eddie Kinnison and the
sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
A big football hero here in Baltimore. Mr. Baltimore would always stand on the 30-yard line to the left of the Ravens bench. Johnny Unitas. So the Bucs 12 plays. That's what New Orleans did to them last week in the first quarter. Short step up by Gramatica, kicked it high, and it's taken by Ron Johnson, the wide receiver. Fights his way up to the 34-yard line. Jermaine Phillips makes the tackle, and the Ravens will go on offense for the first time in the game.
Tight ends running ahead for a first down. So the Chiefs shake up the play bag, come out with a lot of innovative plays resulting in plush yards. You recall this drive started at their 5.
And that's Eric Westmoreland, who would normally be in there guarding a tight end. Jason Dunn finding a gap, just not covered. And Trent Green having the presence of mind to do it, moving Trent Green a little bit around on the bootleg, but
Mel White, it's a good combination, but Green is supposed to be.
Allister into the line. So the question, what about this Packer defense, which was
shopping for cellular?
Yeah, I don't know which way's up anymore.
I think I can help. You'll be fine now.
At Sprint stores, wireless becomes clear with helpful salespeople, the best selection of.
Right now, the New Orleans Saints are handling that pressure and they're making plays in the passing game. This is a poor start for the Green Bay defense after a tough week last week.
10th play of the drive, 2nd down and goal at the 4. 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, and here is Brooks with a lot of time and his pass thrown behind.
It's like having a second car or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Fox Tuesday.
Step away from the vehicle.
Isn't it too early for you to be hopped up?
See Eric and Donna's California reunion. And how Kelso kept busy with Jessica Simpson.
You don't love her. Well, I love parts of her.
That 70 show premieres at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday.
The memory of Johnny Unitas lives on. His high-top shoes, the number 19. Chris Redman, very close to Johnny Unitas, wearing the modern-day high-top shoes in honor of Johnny Unitas.
Both of them alumnus of Louisville.
That's correct. Jamal Lewis, who ran strong last week, goes across the 35 where Dexter Jackson tripped him up. The Ravens, they have the great Jonathan Ogden at left tackle. Edwin Mulatalo was a left guard last season. He's trying to play right tackle. Mike Flynn, Casey Rabach, Benny Anderson. Ron Johnson starts at wide receiver. Travis Taylor's got a sore shoulder but will play. They came out in 2 tight ends. Now they come out with 3 tight ends. Todd Heap, number 86, goes in motion. Short drop by Chris Redman, and a pass almost intercepted by Rondé Barber. Stepped in front of Todd Heap and would have had a touchdown had he held on.
Well, that was all Rondé Barber. He just dropped the ball. You study film, you get in the film room, and you just know what routes they run. And that's exactly what happened here. This is just an out, and Rondé Barber sat on it, saw it, and jumped all over it.
Rondé Barber had 10 interceptions last season when he went to the Pro Bowl. On 3rd and long, Redmond drops it off, and that one was almost picked off by Simeon Rice, the defensive end, trying to set up a screen pass and threw it right into the hands of Simeon Rice.
The entire defensive line for the Bucs sniffed that out. They get over there with the pulling center and guard and tailback as fast as Redmond was there. It was all over it.
So a shaky first offensive series for the Ravens. Dave Zastudil, rookie punter, is in. Carl Williams deep for the Ravens. There was good pressure on Zastudil. It rolls down close to the 20-yard line. Turns out to be a good punt for the Ravens. They'll return 43-yard punt. Baltimore Ravens cut short on their first offensive series.
Yes!
Field goal going back to the end of last year, and his career longest 52 yards, just 3 short of Matt Stover's Cleveland record set at 94. Rudy Johnson back deep. He gathers it in at the goal line. And stop.
Yard line. Raised Holmes taking it right at the Jaguars, and here's a penalty marker fired in by the ref.
This.
And they'll try to do some things to confuse Manning throughout the day. Hand it off, James. He finds the opening and entering.
Saw to Bucky Jones come up faking a blitz.
Fuel efficient Golf TDI. Taste buds, two kinds. The little yes man sitting at the tip of your tongue sipping new age mango flavored tap water, and the boys in the back of the class getting all the glory. So for them, there's new Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Red Fusion, who's your soda?
Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort shaving down or up. An anti-friction coating on the blades, plus a strip with more lubrication. So even against the grain, there's less irritation. Mach 3 Turbo, new from Gillette.
Fox Monday. Fox and National Geographic take you live where no one has gone in thousands of years. And when Egypt's oldest tomb is open, you'll be the first to see what's inside. Pyramids live at 8/7 Central Fox Monday.
Monty Kiffin, defensive coordinator for the Bucs, had to be happy with the first series. His team stops Baltimore for 3 and out. They were very unhappy with their tackling last week.
Last week, 12 plays on the first drive, 11 plays on the next drive.
2 tight ends for the Bucs. Pittman bulls his way across the 25, picks up 5 on the play. 5 carries, 21 yards for Michael Pittman.
Take a look at the first quarter ball control for the Bucs. Last week, they were out there for 6 plays in the whole first quarter, Sam.
Yeah.
Right now, they're at 11 plays, dominating the first quarter. Only 6 minutes to go in the quarter, and it's role reversal. Now they're putting it on Baltimore. Baltimore only 3 snaps so far offensively.
Michael McCreary is in at right defensive end for the Ravens. Pittman and Allstott, with Johnson checking off. The short drop, it's out to Pittman. And he races down the sideline and steps out of bounds up at the 38-yard line. It's a first down for the Bucs. 12-yard pickup. This week, the Bucs want to protect Brad Johnson. Last week, he was on the ground a lot. Despite the fact that he connected on a good percentage for his passes, he was being hit. And the prayers were going out. Please save Brad Johnson. It continued on and on. He was sacked 3 times, hit 22 times, knocked down 17 times. And he told us he was sore and exhausted after that game.
Well, you know, watching the tape, they can't keep that up because the guy wouldn't make it through the season. And one thing I noticed is that last week there was a lot of, they were behind. They were trying to get something going. And there was a lot of 7-step drops. And he's a sitting duck at 7 steps. Just so far in this game, they've come up. It's been 3 and 5 steps, and the ball's been coming out quick.
Aaron Stecker in the backfield. Johnson, 7 for 7 as he connects with Stecker. Lewis chases him down, brings him down to the 42. Short pickup on the play. How about all that movement and motion, Bill, for Tampa Bay?
Well, it is deceiving a little bit at times, and it can confuse a defense, and it changes the strength. Just as I say, 3 and 5 steps drops, he shows up in a 7-step drop. But the key thing is there's the offensive line and the good protection up front. And that's where it was lacking last week.
Posey Coleman in for his first action. He was injured before the first preseason game. And Kenyatta Walker, who started at left tackle last season, now starting at right tackle. 3 wide receivers for the Bucs. Everybody out. Johnson completes to Pittman. First down. Out of bounds. Near midfield. We've got an NFL update. It's coming your way, courtesy of JB.
Sam and Bill, Joe Horn and Aaron Brooks had big plays on his 68-yard drive, but it's McAllister, Deuce McAllister, capping it with a 4-yard run to pay dirt. 7-0 Saints over the Packers. Back to Sam Rosen and Bill Maas.
I got to tell you what, JB, the speed of that New Orleans team is just unbelievable. Offensively and defensively, collectively, you talk about team speed.
First down at midfield. Allstott with his first carry of the game gets a couple of yards. Adalius Thomas, number 96, made the stop. How's Mike Allstott fitting in to the John Gruden offense, you think, Bill?
Oh, not yet. Not yet. I think what you have in him is a guy that right now is a situational player. He's not a true fullback. We've established that years ago in the aspect of a lead blocking I-back type of guy. He's a guy that's a big back in a single back set, has some swivel to him, and is very good at catching the ball out of the backfield.
3 wide receivers for the Bucs. Here comes Bulware on the rush. Pittman with a blocker gets taken down by Adelius Thomas at the 44-yard line. A lot of short passing stuff.
Oh, this was a little screenplay. You know, this is what they were trying to get done. This is exactly what Baltimore was trying to get done on their first possession. But they did a nice job of it here. They set this thing up well. And what bought that thing time to develop is the backpedaling. Brad Johnson, being a veteran quarterback, he knew. He just kept dropping back and back, and the rush kept coming at him.
3rd and 4, 3 wide receivers. Dilger goes in motion. The blitz is on. It's picked up by Allstott, and the pass too low, incomplete. Intended for Keenan McCardell, and he was covered well by Chris McAllister.
That was a tunnel. Keenan McCardell formed a tunnel with his arms and his legs. Watch right here, Allstott, and there's the blitz pickup. He picks up Anthony Mitchell on the outside. It bought that thing time, but there was the flag. There was a stick route, and it wasn't enough. McCardell let it go right through his arm.
First incompletion thrown by Brad Johnson. Tom Tupa with a punt way up in the air. McAllister waits for a fair catch, lets it bounce, and the Bucs have it covered. Corey Ivy was down there. The ball bounced out of bounds at the Ravens 3-yard line. Good punt by Tupa, 41 yards, angled beautifully into the corner. And Corey Ivy, the rookie out of Oklahoma, down in a hurry. Had it stayed in the field of play, Ivy was there to down it.
Finally trailing the play and making the tackle.
Here, they're just dominating up front, getting the good push, and Ricky Williams off to a fast start.
Williams earlier this week agreeing to a revised incentive package that makes it easier for him to earn bonuses and make more money this season. He's been accepted by the Dolphins as Williams takes another carry up the middle. Scioli with the stop, 4-yard gain. We sat down with Ricky yesterday. Interesting guy. Never had a chance to meet him. You hear all these stories. Very bright, but also pretty humble.
He's very humble. You know, he talks about coming out the same year with Edgerrin James. He says, hey.
The Chiefs are up at Kansas City, 3-0. Log on.
Things that they'll draw, but 2nd and long is also another area that they will take some risks. And right now, if they don't have success on those first down plays, you're looking at a 2nd and 8 right here. Here's another area where Brett Favre has to be aware that New Orleans likes to blitz.
So Rick Venturi mixing it up, and 4 wide receivers, and Frank's the tight end going in motion on 2nd down and 8, drills it, and a good play breaking it up is
Agent X. That's how I deal with stress. Lucy Liu, Agent Sever.
My turn.
Ballistic X versus Sever. Rated R. Starts this Friday.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Sprint. Introducing PCS Vision. Clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. By Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. By Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
There's a threat of rain here in Baltimore, but thus far it's held off. It is cloudy, but it's around 80 degrees. There is a bit of a wind, and the Ravens are going into it from their own 3. They have Travis Taylor and Brandon Stokely at wide receiver. On the draw play, Jamal Lewis. Across the 5 up to the 7-yard line, and the middle linebacker Shelton Quarles and Rondé Barber combined on the tackle. Jamal Lewis, who missed all of last year after rushing for 1,364 yards as a rookie, over 100 yards in the Super Bowl, and then tore up his knee in preseason, training camp.
And the thing that he likes to do, self-proclaimed. He said, I want to take a 2-yard run that I say and make it a 4-yard run, a 4-yard run, a 6-yard run.
On the play fake, Redmond outside for Stokely, broken up by Rondé Barber. Barber was on one side, now he's on the other side. He's becoming the star of the defense.
Yeah, he really is. And I think he started last year. Of course, with the number of interceptions he had last year, you can understand why. 10 led the whole NFL. And he's a guy that really studies and he knows tendencies. There's only so many routes a receiver can run, Sam. And there's only so many formations that you can come at you with. And that's what you have all the motions for, to try to confuse you. Rondé Barber is a very smart individual, and he doesn't let all the shifts in motion fool him. He studies the body parts and what routes are going to come out of him.
Redmond is 0 for 3 thus far on 3rd and 6. He throws. He's got a man open, but he missed. Intended for Brandon Stokely. And it's 3 and out once again for the Baltimore Ravens. And a tough start for Brian Billick and his team on offense. And Redmond 0 for 4. I don't know if he's feeling the emotional effects of the Johnny Unitas passing and trying to honor his memory, but it's been a tough start for Redmond, who's been known for his accuracy. Dave Zastudil deep in his own end zone. Carl Williams standing at the Baltimore 44. Zastudil with a good high punt. Backs up Williams to the Tampa Bay 44. Avoids a couple of men, trying to pick up some blocks. He does. Williams trying to get outside. Zastudil, the punter, trying to stop him. He's around him. Williams going to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Carl Williams. 56-yard punt return. The 5th punt return for a touchdown in Carl Williams' career. You know, and he waited to pick up a couple of blocks, Bill, and then he broke it.
Well, yeah, as you watch this thing, he's going to start out to the left here, and then he's going to bring it all the way back when he sees the flow of bodies going this way, and then he stops. He waits. He waits for Rondé Barber to throw a key block there.
Big block by Rondé.
We're just talking about the things that he does on all aspects of the game. Rondé Barber, what a football player.
Gramatica's extra point is good. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a big boost. There's a flag on the play. Holding against the Bucs is the preliminary indication.
Offense. Number 81. 10-yard penalty. Replay the try.
It's Marco Battaglia, the tight end. So that'll move the Bucs back 10 yards.
He's the wing on that side, and they had some problems. The Bucs field goal unit and extra point unit had some problems last week. Got one blocked, and it's a unit I'm sure all week long that they were working especially hard on.
Tupa's the holder. This will be a 30-yard extra point try. And it's right through. Gramatica on target. The Bucs, with Carl Williams providing the big touchdown return, lead 10-0.
There's a light in your soul that says you're one of a kind. Don't never let it go. Be original, an individual, yeah, like Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. There's nothing better. Be you.
In Mustang country.
Football, veterans all making the play. So from the 2, Testaverde gives inside the mark.
At quarterback and wide receiver, they've just not played together.
Last week's game with a hip flexor. Active this weekend, will be kicking, and Darian Gordon back deep, the former San Diego Charger for the Green Bay Packers, and a good kick heading for the corner, bounces at the 5, and I think it's alive, and I think the Saints may have made a great play out of it. Let's see. The officials are conferring. If one of the feet were in the end zone or touching the line, it would be a touchback, and that is the ruling. So Fakir Brown.
1-877 NFL Shop for your free team catalog.
Martin Gramatica is set to kick off for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Late first quarter. The Bucs with the special teams touchdown. good opening drive, controlled the play, and gotten great defensive play against the Ravens. It's Robert Tate, the former Minnesota Viking, who's back deep as the return man.
Therefore controlling the clock and therefore controlling field position.
White Smith, the key man with good speed on cover teams for Tampa Bay. Grammatica's kick coming down to Robert Tate at the 10. Tate gets upended, submarined on the play. Special teams were key last week. The Jets got 2 touchdowns from Chad Morton. The one on your right was in overtime for the win. Morton Anderson, with time expired, kicked a field goal to win for Kansas City in Cleveland. And then, of course, there was this one. Tom Tupa under pressure, wild throw. It's an interception in the end zone. And special teams today, Carl Williams for the Bucs with the touchdown. Ravens from the 20. Play fake by Redmond. Under pressure, got it to Jamal Lewis. Across the 30 and up to the 33-yard line. They started from the 25. Shelton Quarles made the stop on Jamal Lewis.
You know, one of the strengths about Redmond, as you talk to all the coaches and the people that have been around him, is his pocket toughness. He stands in there when he knows bodies are going to be around him, and he's always looking downfield. He's not jittery. He's a tough-minded kid. His father was a football coach, and he just pocket toughness, not a presence, but toughness, standing in there and looking downfield when he knows he's going to get hit.
2 tights, 2 wides, and Chester Taylor. First NFL carry for Chester Taylor, and he's pushed back by Warren Sapp. Your first NFL carry for Warren Sapp. Flag on the play. It's going to be unnecessary roughness. Chester Taylor, the 6th-round draft pick out of Toledo. And Sapp, you can see, pointing to his head, he knows he made a mistake. That'll tack on 15 yards.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense. Number 99. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Little WWF on the part of Warren.
Well, yeah, there was a little bulldog in there going on. A little rodeo bulldog. You know, grab that steer head. But that being said, Chester Taylor never started running, never stopped moving his feet. His feet just kept going and going, and he was fighting, and the whistle wasn't blown.
Jamal Lewis being checked out on the sideline by the medical team. Alan Ricard and Chester Taylor in the backfield. And it's Taylor up to midfield. Picked up a yard on the play. Checking his side or his ribs. Took that pass on first down, first play of the drive.
Got popped when he was on the ground, too.
Let's go 2-2. Oh, excuse me.
3 tight ends for the Ravens on second down. Everybody out. Redmond goes outside to Todd Heap, and he's hit immediately. Good play by Brian Kelly. We've reached the end of the first quarter. The Ravens and the Bucs, 2 teams looking for their first win. And the Bucs have gotten a good start. A field goal by Grammatica and a touchdown as they remember Johnny Unitas in Baltimore.
Number 72, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Back in your day, my day, that was a common penalty clipping, and it's just about been eradicated by the rule changes. It's rare to see it.
Yeah, that time it's number 72, Matt Light. This is Matt Light right here in the middle of your screen. Oh, he actually stumbles and falls, and he trips on the feet of Jason Ferguson, the nose tackle. Number 34, a young running back out of Boston College. That brings up second down and 10.
Yeah, Trent Green draws.
What this does, it gives them the opportunity to be in first and short situations or second and short situations. That can open up the passing game and play action.
Neal again. Early in the season in his history, and was again last week against Atlanta. Second down and 2, and the handoff to Green, and the Green very close to the first down. Cedric Hodge, the linebacker for the Saints, coming up to make the stop.
Room you want. This place? For that kind of money? Not what you need to hear. Then stay here at Super 8. Clean, comfortable rooms because we inspect them more than any major economy chain. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Sports' biggest month of the year starts October 1st, only on Fox.
Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, and Brett Harris back at Ravens Stadium in Baltimore. The Bucks with a good first quarter. Over 11 minutes time of possession. Ravens just short of 4 minutes. 3rd and long. Ravens have to get to the 41-yard line. 5 defensive backs in for Tampa Bay. White Smith has come in out of the shotgun. Redmond being rushed. Completes to Heat, and he's got the first down. Greg Spires brings him down at the 41. That's a big play by Redmond with Rondé Barber blitzing.
Well, that's exactly right, Sam. You're going to take a look here, and where you're going to find, we're going to find Rondé Barber, and he's going to be coming right in here. Here's Rondé Barber over the slot. He's going to be coming inside on the blitz, and Redmond noticed it right away. He saw the blitz, and he rolled to that side where Heap would be. Excellent job by Redmond identifying it and getting away from it and throwing the ball precisely.
First down Ravens at the Bucks 41. The toss to Jamal Lewis is back. Just had the wind knocked out of him. Fighting his way for a yard to the 40-yard line. Derek Brooks, who had 12 tackles last week, made the stop. Somebody's helmet came off. And it was Derek Brooks.
I think there was a lot of talk last week after the Bucks lost their opener down there, you know, and this defense and, you know, the yards they gave up and the drives they gave up.
Big time.
And everyone asking that question, hey, are they getting old? Did they get old overnight? Lynch missed a few tackles. Is that Sapp getting old? Is Brooks getting old?
Lewis straight ahead. Spins across the 35. Simeon Rice with the stop.
I think a lot of it is, no, I don't think they're old yet. I think, yeah, you know, the nicks and injuries that you accumulate over the years, they affect you a little bit, but I think you play in that same defense all the time. And sometimes you take for granted the things that you need to do hard over and over and over.
Have only one guy over 30 years old on that starting defense.
Yeah, but they've taken a lot of snaps together over the years, Sam.
On 3rd down. Lewis straight ahead. Sapp was there fighting off the block. Stops Lewis short of a first down at the 35. It's going to bring up 4th and 4. And let's see what Brian Billick decides to do. He's sitting on the punting unit.
Well, take a look at Sapp. He's right there, 99, and he's going to just jump inside on that. That's quick recognition. When you have 3rd down and 4 or 5, you're thinking pass and you're going to get upfield. He takes that hard step up the field, and then he comes back down underneath when he recognizes it's run. That's a quick reaction.
Carl Williams is standing at his 10. Dave Zastudil punts it way up in the air, bounces down at the 3, takes a Ravens bounce, and it is downed at the 5-yard line. Bart Scott was the man who downed it. Good field position for the Ravens defense.
Miami leads at 14-0.
KC defense.
Heat. They weren't able to stop the passing game with the coverage, so they decided they would stop it with the rush. And watch Brian Walker come right here. He's coming on a blitz. They're thinking pass, but he adjusts nicely when he sees it's the draw and makes the tackle in the backfield.
So John Casey, who missed from 46 earlier, attempts a 40-yarder. And this one is wide to the right. So Casey, the only original Carolina Panther remaining from their first season, is now 0 for 2 today.
check prescription.
81 team that played so well against the Dallas Cowboys in that great game with the catch and Joe Montana and Dwight Clark.
2nd down and 3 after the Dallas timeout. The pitch out to Emmitt Smith, chased by Bullock, and he has a first down, turning the corner and going inside the Tennessee 40-yard line.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by WebMD, the place America comes for healthcare answers. By Toyota, get the feeling. By the flame-broiled Whopper from Burger King, America's favorite burger. At BK, you got it. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
Baltimore defense 2 years ago, the best in the NFL, restructuring this year. Anthony Weaver on the line, Ake Kimoyatu, free agent pickup, and Ed Reed, first-round draft pick. The youth starting for the Ravens. From the 6, the Bucs, Allstott, hit for a loss. Good penetration by Cornell Brown, who's back starting at outside linebacker.
Take a look at Cornell Brown, number 90. He's going to be right here. And what he does is he attacks this thing to the outside. Once he realizes what it's going to be. See him fight through it, squeezing down on the read, and then fighting through the gap. And that's gap control. A 34 defense is playing 2 gaps. You just don't go 1 gap like Tampa Bay does.
Allstott and Cook in the backfield. Swing it out to Allstott. Hit and drop the ball. The pass is incomplete. Chris McAllister with a blast on Mike Allstott. Brings up 3rd and long. What a hit by McAllister.
McAllister outside on Keyshawn Johnson. Watch the read off of this. As soon as he sniffs out what's going on, what a close.
McAllister, they'll probably lock him up to a contract, long-term contract pretty soon. On 3rd down, Johnson rolling, throwing, and completes to Joe Juravicius. He's got a first down up at the 19-yard line. The big wide receiver stopped by Gary Baxter.
Well, that's the word you use, Sam. Big. I want you to take a look here. Here's 83. Now watch what he does here with his size. See his body? Just his position alone. He's taking Baxter down. He's getting that push upfield. And as soon as he gets past the first down markers, just his body turning back to the quarterback, that's like a shield, a wall against the defender.
Good size for the wide receivers. Johnson quickly outside to Pittman on first down, and McAllister wrestles him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Chris McAllister is one of the key people on defense that they want to lock up. They've locked up Ray Lewis. They've locked up Peter Boulware. And Brian Billick wants to get McAllister locked up, and those will be the basis for the rebuilding of the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, other than Michael McCrary, who is now a sub player. He comes in on pass rush situations. You're talking about the 3 guys left over that won this team a Super Bowl defensively.
2nd and 5. At the 25, quickly outside, caught by Keyshawn Johnson, but right on him, Gary Baxter. 2nd-year man out of Baylor.
I'll tell you the one thing that this defense is doing as they're feeling their way through. Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, has said, we got to just learn to play together. We're doing some things, but when you put in a new defense and you're feeling your way through things, you have to learn to play together. The one thing that they're doing is they're closing on catches. Everything that's underneath them, these guys are closing hard and limiting the yardage after the catch.
Do the Bucs need to stretch the field a little bit and go downfield?
They don't stretch the field. They don't have a vertical passing game.
The toss to Pittman. Cozy Coleman leads him around the corner, and he's pulled down up near the 35-yard line. We talked about defense. The Ravens have gone to a 3-4 defense. Bill Moss explains it to us.
It's got, disadvantages is that they get out onto the linebacker. That's the one thing that happens. but there's 3 down linemen, and they're always going to get pressure. The problem for the offense is they never know where the 4th and 5th rusher is going to come from. It could come from any of the 8 other defenders on the field, and that's what poses problems for the offensive line.
Pump fake by Johnson, nobody open. Now he throws deep, wide open was Keenan McCardell. It was overthrown, but there's a flag on the play around the Ravens 45. And we may have illegal contact here against the Ravens.
Defense, number 28, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Gary Baxter called for the illegal contact. So the Bucs up close to the 40-yard line get a first down. Baxter, who played 6 games last season, now a starter, just kind of getting over a hamstring injury. Alstott and Pittman in the backfield. A draw play to Alstott. And he is pulled back and slammed down by Maake Kimoyatu, the rookie out of Utah.
You know, it's hard for the draw play to work, Sam, against a defense, because these guys, see these guys right here, is just 34 defense. They're playing 2-gap. They're reading the guy in front of them. So they're not getting upfield. So when you're reading the guy in front of you, watch, he's tied up, he's tied up, he's tied up. Nobody's upfield, so it's easy to come off and close. The draw play is difficult to run against a 2-gap defense because you're not getting penetration up the field. And that's what the whole draw is for, to slow down a pass rush.
McCardell in motion. Johnson, pump fake. Doesn't find anybody. Dropped it off to Alstott. Thrown back. Short pickup across the 40-yard line. Good defensive play, and Ray Lewis gets pumped. He made the hit on Mike Alstott.
You know, I talked to you about that 34 defense, and you don't know where the 4th and 5th rushers coming from. It's a lot like St. Louis's offense. St. Louis's offense does everything out of their regular personnel. They don't have to sub a bunch of guys. Well, the concept of the 34 defense is they have just a base unit out there, and they can do a lot of variations. They can jump down into a 4-3. They can blitz you. There's a zone blitz you. There's a lot of things they can do without changing the personnel.
3rd and 11. Johnson gets time, completes to Pittman for a first down. Beautiful moves by Pittman. His 5th catch of the game. He's down to the Ravens' 34-yard line. Michael McCreary finally caught up to him from behind. Brad Johnson is now 13 for 15, 125 yards, and time of possession is over 30 minutes for Tampa Bay.
Well, the pass protection was good. Look at the time he has back there, and that ball's thrown right on the money because Ray Lewis had Michael Pittman out of the backfield. And then there's that Sonic the Hedgehog thing I was talking to you about. Stops, and he goes, and then he stops here, and he chops his feet, and he runs over here.
5 catches for Pittman. Alstott straight ahead on first down, gets a yard. Well, they talk about wanting to run the ball more. Tampa Bay's passing game has been brilliant today.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the offensive line is giving him protection. See, last week, they faced a mad blitzing team against the New Orleans Saints, and they were a little bit in disarray. And some of the schemes that Jim Haslett comes up with in New Orleans are really deceptive. You engage with this guy, then he runs back in the backfield, and another guy comes, and you don't see much of the blitzing yet from New Orleans. You're going to see it as they get, I'm sorry, from Baltimore. You're going to see it when they get closer to the red zone.
11th play of the drive for the Bucs. Under pressure, Johnson gets rid of it, intended for Todd Yoder, the tight end. He was hit by Kelly Gregg on the play. Let's check out what the Falcons and Bears are doing. Take it away, JB.
Hey, Sam, after a pick by Fred Weary, a lot of poise being shown by Michael Vick. Look, waiting for the defender to clear, then whips a pass to Ward Gunn. Gunn's 3rd touchdown of the season. Atlanta trying to come back after a heartbreaking loss to Green Bay last week. 7-0 over Chicago. Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. Doesn't Michael Vick look good to you, Bill? I mean, he looks like a new player out there.
He looks quick.
Here's 3rd and 9. Johnson throws and completes to McCardell. There's a flag on the play. McCardell gets down to the 25, close to the first down marker. And the penalty is against the Ravens.
Yeah, you're going to have Alvin Porter, number 24. You're having a hold of Keyshawn Johnson.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 24. Penalties decline. First down.
Right off the jam. He just watch the hands come up into the face. Right here. And he just keeps it there and rides it out.
Alvin Porter having to cover Keyshawn Johnson. That's a size mismatch. First down for the Bucks at the Baltimore 25. McCardell in motion. Pittman carrying. And a short pickup on the play. Maybe a yard. Total ball control for the Bucks in his first half.
Here's a look at that front. You see here's a 34. They're tightened down here a little bit. They've got guys here 1, 2, 3, and then this is the linebacker up top here, and then there's 40. Now this is what gives you a 4-man look in the line. That's exactly what that does. Now you go into the 4-man look. See, that's Boulware with his hand down on the ground at the top, and now you have a 4-man front look. That's where the deception comes in, and you can do a lot out of it.
4 wide receivers for the Bucks. Johnson under pressure. Throws incomplete. Flags on the play. In the Ravens backfield. It's against Baltimore. Looks like a holding.
Holding. Defense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Peter Boulware called for the hold. So penalties creeping in for the Ravens.
You see now that's where he had to widen out there in the slot, and that's where you maybe get a little bit of a mismatch. Not that he hasn't played there before, but here it is right here. There's the hold. Tries to get Keyshawn Johnson. See, you know, and for Peter Boulware, he, in all fairness, he's a pass rusher to me when I think of him. And when he has to drop back in the slot or widen out in the slot and cover that slot receiver, that's tough.
A toss to Pittman. Gets inside the 20 to about the 17. Ray Lewis and Cornell Brown in on the stop. Pittman 7 carries, 28 yards.
Hey, and when you take a look here at your guy, the old giant, number 83, right here. That's Joe Jurevicius. Watch him in motion and watch him come down inside and crack on the defensive end. That's Tony Weaver, the rookie out there. You know, that's something new you learn playing out there when you're a rookie. You don't expect the wide receivers to come down and crack on you, and you don't expect them to be that big.
15th play of the drive for the Bucks. On second down, Johnson completes to Allstock. Lost the football, but out of bounds, and it stopped it around the 12-yard line. Cornell Brown and Chris McAllister in on the hit. Brad Johnson has been sacked once today after being sacked 3 times last week, but he's only been hit 3 times, and he has had a strong first half. 15 for 18. This drive started on the 6-yard line.